It's time now for French Connections, our weekly look at the intricacies of life here in France with Florence Villeminot. Hi, Flo.
Hey, Jeannie.
Today you're going to focus on something a little different that is still a national treasure, and that is France's national postal service, La Poste.
That's right. What a random topic, you might say. But the truth is that the French are very attached to their postal service, and its evolution really reflects the evolution of communication and French society. And we could do a whole show on the fascinating history of La Poste, but basically what started as a royal service in the 15th century became democratic with the revolution. Now, in the 15th century, it took 22 days for a letter to cross France from the top to the bottom, which was a record at the time, and it's only gotten faster, easier, and cheaper thanks to technological changes. So letters have been delivered by horseback, and then carriages, trains, bicycles, automobiles, planes, ultimately the high-speed TGV, and even drones you can see here. So come rain or shine, postal workers, they deliver mail 24/7, making them one of France's favorite people just after their baker.
La Poste employs about 250,000 people. That makes it France's second public employer after the state. But these days, La Poste is much more than just a postal service.
That's right. Like with other countries, with the development of other forms of communication, basically people are sending fewer and fewer letters. And so La Poste isn't only about letters. Keep in mind that in 2008, 18 billion letters were delivered in France. In 2018, it was half that number, and this number just keeps dropping and dropping, which means that La Poste is losing money each year. And so La Poste has tried to adapt by beefing up its other main services. So its other main services are its banking sector, called La Banque Postale, and its package delivery service, which is called Colissimo. But that hasn't really been enough. And so La Poste recently started actually cutting back on its letter delivery service. For instance, in some instances, it won't deliver mail every single day. And in other instances, it's actually been cutting certain routes or even getting rid of the ubiquitous yellow post box, the jonquil or daffodil yellow post box, which is really part of the national landscape. In many ways, it's a reminder that you're actually in France. And all this much to the chagrin of those who are affected by these changes.
Dans un hameau, il ne reste pas grand-chose comme service public et la boîte aux lettres. C'est quelque chose qui fait partie du lien social en ville comme à la campagne.
Je trouve que les services postaux, on va dire entre guillemets à l'ancienne, c'est indispensable pour la cohésion d'une commune.
Another change to the traditional letter delivering service are the stamps themselves.
That's right. In 2023, La Poste scrapped its red priority letter stamp, which essentially ensured that your letter would be delivered the next day. So now for urgent letters, La Poste offers a red e-letter, which you can do through its website or at the post office. And here again, many French people were very upset by this change.
Non, je sais pas comment je vais faire. Il faut passer par ordinateur, mais les ordinateurs, j'en veux pas. Moi, je sais pas me servir d'un ordinateur, et puis je veux pas me prendre la tête avec un ordinateur maintenant.
J'ai 56 ans, ça va être compliqué pour moi d'aller sur Internet et de faire ce qu'il faut faire.
And that leads us to our expression du jour, Jeannie, comme une lettre à la poste, like a letter at la poste, which means usually for something to be smooth or easy. But with all these changes underway, the question really, begs itself, will this expression still exist in the future?
I think, language changes, but I think that expression will stick around. All right, Flo, people are sending fewer and fewer letters, but there is still one area of resistance. What's that?
That is the good old-fashioned postcard. Now, according to the Professional Union of Postcards, which is a real thing, 74 million postcards are sent every year in France, 80% of them during the summertime. It's an old tradition that has yet to conquer young people, however.
Moi, ça me touche vraiment que la personne est en vacances, pense vraiment à toute autre chose et une pensée pour moi.
C'est un peu notre produit phare quand même et on en vend tous les jours beaucoup.
C'est plus facile d'envoyer un snap, on va dire, ou un selfie que d'envoyer une carte postale. Parce que rien qu'avec le timbre ou autre, c'est la facilité que les jeunes recherchent aussi, malheureusement.
Well, you can't put a selfie on the fridge. And Jeannie, just so you know, I love sending and receiving postcards,
I do too, and I make my kids send postcards too. All right, postcards, though, are not going to save La Poste. So what does the future look like for the group?
Well, La Poste has vowed to keep reinventing itself and diversifying its activity and offering new services as well. For instance, it's trying to position itself as an important player in the so-called silver economy as France's population keeps getting older and older. They offer a service that's called Veiller sur mes parents, to watch over my parents. And essentially, you can pay a postman or postwoman to drop in on your elderly relatives up to 6 times a week to ensure that everything is all right. So that's one service. They're also trying to become a leader in the food delivery service. Recently, the head of La Poste said that in the next 10 years, food delivery will be the main activity of France's 65,000 mailmen and mailwomen. So big changes ahead. Let's just hope that the good old postcard still is around. And Jeannie, feel free to send me a postcard.
You bet I will, Flo. You bet I will. Thank you so much for that look at La Poste. Thanks to you for watching. Don't forget, if you have your own questions for Flo about France or the French, you can always reach out on social media or send her a tweet at Flo Villeneuve.